Hong Kong is a special type of charter city because it involved one government, the government in Britain, that helped provide the charter and the protections of those charter, but another government which actually provided the land and the people who moved here. Now that arrangement was not one that was entered into voluntarily, but it could be something that could be entered into voluntarily in the future, like the project which is under discussion in Honduras. And it shows how two different governments working together can produce something that neither could have done alone. The vision for a place like Honduras is to try and get as quickly as possible to something like the Hong Kong of the 1950s and 60s, a place where people can come and get their first job where they earn a wage and use that to pay for their housing, and also have a place where their kids can go to school and ultimately have a better life. There's another aspect of the Hong Kong experience, one that's not as well understood, that I think gives us real optimism about what's possible. During the 1960s and early 70s, there was a high level of corruption in Hong Kong. But the government took an initiative with a commission they created, the Independent Commission Against Corruption, which transformed the practices in Hong Kong, but also transformed norms about right and wrong. That it was not just that there were laws against corruption, but people changed their norms about what was an appropriate thing for a government official to do or a business person to do. That gives us hope, and it made those changes quickly. Those norms changed. Many people will say that culture can never be changed, but the Hong Kong experience with corruption shows us that's not true. And if you generalize that, we can see the opportunity to create all kinds of norms that people might not have when they first move to a city, but which might be very important for successful life in a city. Norms about courtesy, for example, or just norms about things like sanitation. That there are many things that change when you're densely packed together in a city, things that have to change for that to be a high quality living experience. But from experiences like that of the ICAC, we can tell that people's norms can change, and we can work towards norms that we would all agree are more humane, more satisfying, and more efficient for us in terms of having a high quality urban experience. There are many things we can learn from the Hong Kong experience. One of the most important ones is that the development assistance that Britain in effect provided to the entire Chinese people, that development assistance came at almost no cost to the British government. It wasn't that they gave away billions of dollars of charitable aid. What they did was bring in the institutions of governance, hire local residents to become people like the judges and the police, collect local revenue to pay for the operation of the government in Hong Kong. So in effect, Britain offered assistance to China that was perhaps the most effective, most valuable development assistance in history, but it came at almost no cost to the British people. And what this should show the developed countries around the world is there's a way to get away from the inefficiencies of the traditional aid system of charity and provide this much more valuable and powerful aid of the seed that can grow into good governance.